Hey, you all, how are you doing? I am so excited that you decided to tune in with us on today. Today, we have an amazing show for you today. We have the exclusive interview with Real Housewives of Potomac, season 9. It's newbies on there, and we actually have Jazzy on the show today. First and foremost, I need you all to share this live out with all of your friends. And listen here, if you're a girl's girl, you are right on time. So without further ado, let's go ahead and introduce Jazzy.
Hi, you guys. Hi, gorgeous. Thank you so much for having me on today. I'm so excited to just catch up with you, girl.
Yes. And also we have Couture Bay actually is going to be joining us. She's actually my primetime mixer co-host, um, Couture Bay.
Hey everyone, welcome Jazzy. Oh my gosh, I love you on the show. I can't wait for the interview. I'm just excited that you're here. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to interview you because I see you doing big things.
Absolutely. Definitely excited to be here as well. Excited to meet you. And I've heard about all of the incredible works that you're doing within journalism as well. So I'm so excited to talk to you ladies today.
Absolutely. So, Jazzy, once again, like, thank you for coming by and giving us your time. We know, you are a busy woman, and you also, before we get into anything, you have an event today, but you had an event yesterday. It was the Lion Connect. So, for the people that are being introduced to you, which they're going to see more on the show because you're going to get a flute, but go ahead and let us know
I
who
had
you.
a flute, but that's another conversation. But okay.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
noted.
Well, Miss, well, we don't
And
have
I'm
to
not
start it
worried
off
about the
soft.
flute of it
Oh,
all. But anyway.
period.
All right. So, okay, so you're on the Real Housewives of Potomac. I did see a video of you. I guess it was like an intro. You were doing a Q&A where people were asking, well, how did you get involved with the Real Housewives of Potomac? And from what I saw, you said that, someone had reached out to you and asked you about a show and you didn't really know what it was until later on. Can you get into that and kind of tell us how you, getting your start on the Real Housewives of Potomac sounds like for the second time?
So no, it definitely wasn't for the second time. When they initially reached out to me, I was told that they had tried to reach out to me for a few months, and I was a little unresponsive, just being busy as an international flight attendant, and probably the time zones as well. I didn't see the messages, and then they sent the right person after me and wanted to just learn more. And as far as the recruiting side and how they cast for the show, that is something that the show has asked us to kind of use discretion about. But what I can say is that they absolutely reached out to me a few times, and when they finally got an interview with me, they wanted to learn more, and I wanted to learn more about the show. I thought it would be an incredible opportunity to showcase who I am, my brand, my family, and other things like that. And those are all things that I was able to do this season.
I think
Amazing.
I think that is so dope. Wow, the fact that you're an international flight attendant, beauty and brains. I love that.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
will we get to see more of that on the show? You being, an international entrepreneur? Are we going to see your soon-to-be husband? Because we're claiming that Miss Davis in full effect.
Mrs. Harris. Yes.
Oh, my bad. My
Yes,
apologies. My apologies.
definitely. My fiance and I had a lot of different scenes and the ability to just really bring people into our home and into our world. Editing can get very tricky. I did film a lot of different scenes that showcased my business, which I am praying that those will also get shown. But the more that I have been on the show, the more I've been able to realize that, it's a show. We only have 18 episodes. episodes in one season. And I mean, we filmed so much. So you really can only cross your fingers in hopes that everything that you filmed can be shown, and, whatever it is that you found extremely important, like in my situation with my hair company and things like that. My fingers are crossed that they show everything that we filmed in regards to that. But you never know until the episode airs.
Yes. Now listen here, Jazzy, you do have a hairline out. I'm actually rocking uh
Ah,
the the
yes. Thank
Jazzy
you for
collection.
supporting. Oh my
Yeah,
God, I'm so excited. You were able to get one of my original collections, and it's so timeless. I know that your purchase was a couple of years ago, and you're still looking absolutely fabulous. So thank you so much for supporting me before the show, after the show, and for years to come. I'm so thankful that you've always supported the brand and my business.
absolutely. And we'll showcase that it's a Rideau hair. So I'll be putting the link
Yes.
to the chat after this interview. You guys make sure you go and get you some hair. I've had this hair for over 3 years and it has done me amazing. Now,
It looks good,
Yeah.
friend. Good quality. Yes, ma'am, Miss
yeah,
Jazzy, ma'am. Let me find out if you are
honey,
the
honey.
plug. Yes, beauty, brains, entrepreneurship. I think that is why well, we're so drawn to you because we've seen you on the show, and just in those small moments, you have been a big personality. Like, you have Twitter on fire right now. How does it feel that so many people revere you already, and it's just a short amount of time? Especially with the Ashley go to bed. You have bags. I loved it.
Yes, go to bed, babe. You got to get that beauty sleep. Beauty sleep is so important, especially for a person like me that considers self care, one of the best things that you can do for yourself. I think that when you get ample amount of sleep, you're able to think a little bit better. And so I was just sure that she must have been exhausted or something and needed to go to bed because she wasn't thinking clearly by putting me out of a charity event when I came with an open heart and wallet.
Ooh, I'm glad you said that. So, how do you feel about being kicked out of a charity event? She must not know you are a boss babe. Like, not only do you have your own bag, you're tied to someone who has a bag, you are affluent, you are in the culture, you've done big things. What was that like?
I think that it's important to always self reflect. I've done a lot of self work within myself just throughout the years, and especially in my adulthood. And one thing that I can say is that I do have to work on being on time. Period, point blank. You have to be on time. You have to be on time, whether 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. I do desire to become the kind of person that shows up extra early instead of late. But we all know, we can't always. I'm always thinking of how I can spread myself thin when it comes to just trying to be there for people. And it also takes an amount of time to kind of get to know someone, because where in my mind I thought that just showing up is also good enough, but I'm still getting to know the ladies and getting to know Giselle. She's the kind of woman where, listen, if you're going to be a minute or two late, just don't show up. And if we had a better relationship and a better sisterhood and a one that was more seasoned, then maybe I would have known that. Some of the other ladies, if you saw in the episode, opted to just not go, and they may have done that because they already know, Giselle and the things that are important to her. Had I known that, then I may have opted for the same thing. In the end, I still donated to the charity. I had no idea in the beginning that it was actually in honor of her father, and I think that had I known that from the beginning, then I would have maybe put her event over Karen's. But with still getting to know the ladies, maybe they didn't feel comfortable or felt like they really had to explain why this would be, so important to her. And I can understand the frustration, and grief is something that just takes time. I lost my grandfather in 2020, and I can honestly say, people grieving, you do have to give them a little bit of grace.
I love
Absolutely.
that.
Now, listen, speaking of grace, what are your thoughts on Karen? Her DUI situation is coming up on the show, And recently, here, I believe it was yesterday, the tabloids were saying that she wanted the body cam footage to kind of not be released. As far as the law and where Karen is, what can you say to that, if anything?
Here's the thing. It's always disheartening when somebody faces challenges, right? But, I believe in grace and the power of redemption. I haven't directly really addressed the issue with Karen yet, but, as a friend and a castmate, my priority is to really offer her support rather than judgment. Everyone makes mistakes. It's not what, is most important about. It's really about how we move forward and kind of learn from those mistakes. I was shocked to learn that she had more than one DUI, which it doesn't make it any less or worse. The DUI in general is something that's just really hard to think about when you put yourself in the shoes of a person that has been affected from drunk drivers and things like that. But my thing is just always supporting the people that are in your life and moving forward in the most positive ways, and just holding your friends accountable as well is really important. And I think that Karen is taking some accountability for her actions, if those were her actions. The court documents and things like that hadn't really fully came out yet, and it's still a legal matter. So I don't like to have a strong opinion about a person that I've recently met and I don't have the full details on the case, because it is a legal matter.
And see, this is why I keep saying, Jazzy, you are an excellent, even if you are a friend of the show, they need to give you your flute back because beauty, brains, grace, poise. It leads me to my next question. What was the hardest thing about filming for Real Housewives of Potomac?
Ooh, what was the hardest thing about filming? I guess for me, the hardest thing about filming was that I'm such a genuine person that I sometimes overshare. And I think that there were moments that I may have overshared with people who were not really offering me genuine friendship. And that's where I really took a dive in, the filming, or where I really felt like, oh, okay, now this is not enjoyable and things like that, in regards to just certain friendships where, I would have thought that conversations and things like that were had would have stayed between us. Those are the only things that were really hard, was just trying to differentiate those that were genuine to those that were a little disingenuine. But in the end, I focused on the relationships that constantly prove to me time and time again that they are so genuine and so amazing. Castmates like my girl Stacy and Wendy, and even Karen, were all very genuine, very welcoming to me. And at the end of the day, I'm so grateful for those. And those are the things that I would rather focus on.
Ooh, so now that you said that, Mia is in the tabloids for some very strong allegations. Did she bring you on the show? Was she one of the disingenuous ones? Because there's been
Mia
conflicting
and I have a
reports.
very strange relationship, since we're just, we're good friends. We met at the spa located in Maryland at Autumn Lee's Beauty Spa. And when we ran into each other, and she talked to me about introducing me to some of the ladies and things like that, Mia was my kind of girl. She was fun. She seemed very sweet, very caring, very genuine. And we did have a few moments on the show, which if you guys keep watching, you'll see that were very genuine, that were very nice, and where we really enjoy each other. There are some things that, I kind of have to side eye her a little bit about, but nothing really major. So in the end, I mean, she's just a woman like all of the other ladies too, that I'm still getting to know.
All right. So let's just say this. How do you feel? Okay, so I did ask you that. So what will you bring on to the show this season and more to come? What can we kind of expect from you?
For me, I this season I'm bringing authenticity, inspiration, and a fresh perspective. As someone who has balanced multiple ventures, from my work in the beauty industry, entrepreneurship, my role as a fiance of someone who's in the NFL, My goal is just to show the many different layers of what it is and what it means to really be a woman in today's world. And I just hope to really inspire the viewers to chase their dreams with confidence and just really embrace every facet of their real identity, you know.
Right. Now, I know that you and Miss Wendy Ofoso and Stacy, I actually like you and Stacy together. Like,
Stacy is my girl, honey. Stacy is my girl. She is such a girl's girl. She's so amazing, so sweet, and we really have cultivated an incredible friendship.
okay. So, any alliances going on that we should be worried about? Is there going to be a jaw-dropping moment that we can kind of look forward to if you can tell us anything?
Listen, Potomac season 9, there's going to be more than one, more than two, more than three jaw dropping moments. But you know, the focus of the ladies, and I know it can kind of get misconstrued, especially when it relates to a lot of the drama that happens on the show. One thing I can say is that I'm grateful to be a part of a group of women where when it's time to come together, when it's time to, you know, do what we have to do within the communities, those are the moments where we really show up. And yes, there's going to be some jaw dropping moments for the viewers, for myself, you know, as well. Yeah, there absolutely is going to be some jaw dropping moments. But like I said, you know, the focus for me coming into the show was to focus on the positivity and be a part of women empowerment groups that are truly making a difference. And that is something that I got to experience with the cast of Real Housewives of Potomac.
Since you've been on the show, do you feel like y'all, the newbies, brought the opulence, the glamour, the luxury? Because I must say, the girls have stepped it up since you've been there.
Yeah.
You know, I can't say that the newbies brought the opulence and the glamorousness because, you know, Potomac was already quite the show. You know, we had known of the Real Housewives of Potomac for 8 seasons before Stacey and I got there. And, you know, I do think that somewhere along the lines when they did the casting and Stacey and I showed up, it made the girls kind of sit up straight and you know, get their affairs in order, which I'm not saying that they didn't have it before, because again, I have been inspired by the ladies of the Potomac in several ways. Not all of them with fashion, but a lot of them with, like I said, the things that are way more important, like the works that they do in the community, especially as a woman who lives in the DMV area. But I think the newbies are absolutely bringing it. I think that the new cast members are an incredible addition. I think that we're fresh. I think that we're bringing exactly what we're supposed to be bringing. And if anything, these ladies are just, you know, stepping it up because they want to. I like to think that, you know, another beautiful woman coming in the building shouldn't intimidate you, but more so inspire you to remember who you are. And so maybe we made them, you know, reach back in their bag and remember, like, oh, okay, the girls are here.
Listen, when you talk about a fresh look, let's get into you because not only are you into health and beauty, you're really big on fitness. So, with your husband being an NFL player, you know, a star, uh, is it more challenging? Or is it, you know, do you ever get a break? Do you ever get like a cheat day on your diet? Does he kind of hold your feet to the fire, like we're gonna do this workout together? Or how does that work? How do y'all balance out the fitness world, being that he's a football player and you're just got so many hats?
It's, you know, it's funny because he eats like a crazy man. I mean, when I met him, I was like, babe, some of those restaurants, like I would never even step foot in, just because if I eat like that, I will be hugely overweight. And for me, I really balance out our relationship by I'm a very healthy cooker, and more than the gym, I really watch what I eat and I try to keep the carbs a bit low. It's been a little challenging, especially now that we have a home together and now that we're taking the next stages of our lives. And I have to tell him sometimes, baby, eat your candy because you're going to have your 8 pack and you're going to be at practice tomorrow. And you're probably going to be 3 pounds down after you leave from practice. But for me, like, I can't be eating the candy and I can't be eating the fries and the chicken and stuff like that with you all the time. I will catch myself just enjoying sometimes with him, but typically I will let him order the bad stuff and just kind of nibble on a little bit of it versus ordering all of the bad food for myself. I try to really keep my regimen up, and it's hard juggling my workout regimen, my Pilates classes, and my diet. But I try to just do the best that I can. And it's about giving yourself grace. Some weeks I'm better than others.
Right.
My question to you, Jazzy, is what are some good price points for the girls on a budget who want to have the glamour, have the self care, have the body, health is wealth? What are some of your thoughts on that?
For anybody that's on a budget who wants to have the glamour, who wants to do the Pilates, who wants to have the great skin, one thing you have to realize is that God has already planted everything we need on this earth. Everything else is just a little extra. If you want to have a nice body and you want to do Pilates and you don't have the budget, start on YouTube. I even do YouTube Pilates workouts when I can't make it to my, Pilates classes with the reformer. It's about using the tools that you have instead of making excuses for what you don't have. If you want clear skin and you want to, give yourself self care, girl, there's so many natural ingredients that you can use that will aid in clear skin. Drink your water. Try to drink a gallon of water a day. Get your Pilates workout in on YouTube until you can afford to go in studio. Find some of the class passes as well and Groupons and things like that. Whatever works within your budget. But I'm a strong believer in not going over the budget because your mental health is the best health that you can give yourself. And anytime that you're trying to keep up with something that you're just not absolutely ready for, you will be at a disadvantage. So instead of putting yourself at a disadvantage, use the tools you have. Use whatever tools, whether it's a free class, whether it's a YouTube, and some natural resources that the good Lord has given us already. Those things will also aid in you taking great care of yourself, taking good care of your skin, etc.
Okay. And I have one more question. My question would be so your husband Darius, he is involved in, of course, football, but then he has a charity event where he gives back, and I've seen you out there supporting him as well in that at the events. Can you speak a little bit about how you all give back to the younger generation and families that may can't afford camp?
Absolutely. So, Faith Family Football Foundation is a foundation that Darius's family has always kind of had. We recently worked on the legal bindings in regards to the foundation and decided to come up with that name. Of course, I aided in that just from getting to know him and his family and things like that. I thought that it would be a great name for the foundation because he comes from the Mississippi, Memphis area. And, he's a Southern gentleman. He was raised, in the church and, he knows the Bible well. So that's where the faith comes from. And then, of course, family was something that we knew we wanted to be a part of the foundation name because his family has always supported him. His mom has worked as a nurse and he's actually a twin. And, she had two twin boys at just 18 years old. And so her family really supported her in regards to continuing her education, being able to take care of two twin boys. And he really had a village around him to show up to his games, day in and day out, taking him to practice. And they really worked together. So that family aspect is something that is really near and dear to our hearts. And then, of course, football. Football is an incredible sport that's got him very far today. Him being a three-time Super Bowl champion is just so incredible. And football has instilled a lot in him and has aided in making him a man through coaches, through mentorship, through the sport in general. And so Faith Family Football is the foundation that we give back on behalf of different charities. And charity is one of the most beautiful things that I'm doing in my life right now. I've always been a person who's aspired to be able to give back to charity. So when we do things like the Cowboys Cocktails and Candles, where we can truly give back to charity and we're able to aid in the awareness and the causes and things like that of different diseases, especially that attacks the Black community, it's really fulfilling. As far as giving back to the youth, I think it's so incredibly important because like many youth, Darius didn't have an incredible amount of resources. You know, he used what he could to get the information needed, whether it would be football or other things that he just needed, you know, as a young adolescent. And it's important to him because he just felt like had I had even more resources, maybe I could have gone even further. I think it's pretty ambitious for someone who went as far as to be a three-time Super Bowl champion, but I do think it's beauty and just wanting more for some of the younger people who look like us and who's coming after us.
Yes. And then one more thing, because he shout out to Mr. Darius, and you let him know that we appreciate his tenacity, perseverance, and I mean, looking at you all, I mean, he loves the Lord. I know you and your family background,
Yay.
Lord. So it when I saw you happy, it was just tears of joy because you deserve. And I'm about to like go off script a little bit, but I call Jazzy pressure. I call her pressure because when she's out there, she's doing it. I mean, just it's like, girl, you are pressure. So I always tell her
Thank you.
the pressure. If you see me hashtag pressure, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I'll let Bree have a go into your question, and then I was going to wrap up with: is Ashley invited on your sprinter again?
You know, absolutely. You know, it's crazy because you really have to navigate some crazy relationships within this friend dynamic. But Ashley is absolutely welcomed on my sprinter again. She just got to know who she's talking to and how she's talking. And she better not come with no QR codes.
We heard that.
Okay.
Yes. So Jazzy, we really want to thank you so much, seriously, for coming by, giving us your time. We know you're a very busy woman. The tour Bay, did you have anything else that you want to say to Miss Jazzy?
Thank you so much, Jazzy, for working with Black content creators. We love this, and thank you so much. We pray for the ultimate success, and I cannot wait to see you walk down that aisle with that good God fearing man. May many blessings come to y'all.
Yes. God is good. God is good, honey. I'm going to have to release the jazzy prayer.
Yes. Well, listen here, Jazzy. So today you have an event. In case anybody is in the Oklahoma area, the Oklahoma City area, you guys check out Jazzy today. She will be at the
A
pop-up.
Loom Spa. Yes, there's a new spa in OKC. It is an incredible beauty bar spa with all the beauty necessities. It is called a Loom, and the grand opening is today at 7 o'clock. October 18th at 7 o'clock. And the address is in Edmond, Oklahoma, off of Santa Fe in Suite 107. So I'm looking forward to seeing everyone there today for sure. We will have the Rideau hair on hand. Can't wait to see everyone and just talk and fellowship, have some libations. It's going to be great.
Absolutely. So, in closing, for those that are watching the show and they want to get to know more about Jazzy, can you tell them how they can follow you and maybe give them some words of encouragement?
Yes, definitely come follow me on Instagram, Jassy, that's JASSI, Rideaux, RIDEAUX. And you can check out rideauxhair.com. That's RIDEAUXHAIR.com. Those are the two ways to really contact me. I also have emails to my management and things like that located in my Instagram bio. So feel free to reach out, any collabs or things like that that people might want to do. All of that information can be found via my Instagram and or website.
All right. So listen here. I look forward to more interviews. We will definitely stay on top of the Real Housewives of Potomac. And like I said, we are pushing for you to get that flute. I mean, you definitely deserve it. You definitely stepped it up and you are bringing it. And you know,
Thank you. Thank
yes,
you so much. I appreciate
yes.
it.
So that last episode, so this is what we were left with, the sprinter situation. But then we see you go over to Stacy's house. Ashley arrives. Um, can you give us just a little teeny piece of kind of what's gonna maybe happen in that scene?
Well, Ashley and I have a conversation, and I do apologize for closing her up in the sprinter door. And then you'll see what happened next.
Okay, thank you. That is enough. Listen here, Miss Jazzy. Thank your team. Thank your husband for being such a gracious man and being such a role model. And I hope that others that are watching and a part of the cast can take some notes from you because, you know,
Yes, and it's my fiance right now. He will be my husband by May. We do have a wedding date set, so I'm so excited to get you guys updated on all of that fun stuff to you.
absolutely. Well, listen here. We want to thank you once again for coming by the Queen Tulsa show. And always
Yes,
remember,
period.
girls need love too.
And do.
Gotta go.
Thank
Bye.
you so much for having me, you guys. Stay blessed, and especially when you're put to the test. I will see you guys later. Thanks so much for having me on.
Later.